gentlemen.
Welcome back to Random Rambles. So this is basically a continuation off of our last podcast that we did. We just cut it off at the hour and a half mark because we didn't want it to go on too long. This is going to start with some wrestling, so don't be intimidated. We will talk about other stuff. Anyway,
Okay,
so what did you want to talk about with wrestling?
I got two things I want to talk about with wrestling before we move on.
All right.
The first is I will let you choose the first. We can either talk about women versus diva, or wrestling versus sports entertainment.
All right, let's go ahead and get women diva out of the way first, because that's probably going to be the shorter one to talk about, because I think we both have the same mindset on this. Women is a much better term. I'm so glad they changed it to women. I don't think there's really much that needs to be said at this point, because they've done it. They've done the change.
I'm glad they did the change. Why, all these years later, do they do the change again? I mean,
I don't know why they did it in the first place. That's what I want to know. Why did they do it in the first place? Like, was there a reason for it?
Not that I saw.
And like from what I remember, the old women's championship has a different history than the Divas title did. Like the Divas title had a different history than the women's championship from back then. But now the Divas title lineage continues on into the women's championship lineage, I think, unless they've changed that now. Unless
I hope they did. I would honestly just consider it a fresh start.
Yeah, I guess so. Makes sense. And in that case, Charlotte is so far the only one, at least for this women's championship.
Now all they have to do is take Total Divas off the air, because they can't be called divas anymore when they're being called women.
Thing. Now that they're not called divas anymore, why is the show still going to be called Total Divas? That's the thing. They're still calling that show Total Divas, and I don't know why. It's still called that.
I know, and I don't understand it. That's what I was saying. I don't physically understand why you have to degrade women like that. And you can say it's not degrading all you want, but I feel really bad when you call somebody, that's just a diva. That's not a woman at all.
Okay, here's the thing. Diva, if I remember, the term diva actually refers to the lead female opera singer.
Yeah.
Last I checked, none of these women have ever been in an opera. Ever. Unless you count this as a soap opera, but even then, that's not what we're talking about.
Everybody considers this a soap opera.
Well, but that's not the type of opera that the divas are in.
But that's another thing. Soap operas. Wrestling. It's turned into so much of that recently. With the storylines and stuff. It acts like a soap opera. But it's getting back better now.
It's getting a little better from what I've been watching. Yeah. Like, when I started watching, it was still pretty much soap opera. Like, it was a lot of talking, a lot of authority promos. I'm so glad that I have not had to hear one of those in so long.
Did you hear the rumor, the kayfabe rumor that was going around for a while?
Which one?
The one where it was WWE 2K15 talking about the video game.
Uh-huh.
Did you hear about it?
I don't know, actually.
Where they said the start of the game was a 30-minute Triple H promo. Like, because, they were talking about story mode.
That... I don't think I heard that one. But, I wouldn't have put it past them. Because that's what happened in 2015. A lot.
That's what's best for business.
I got so tired of hearing that phrase. Oh, God. I am so glad they cut back on that. Like, they cut back on authority promos. In fact, Triple H hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Stephanie's been on TV, and yes, she's given her promos, and Shane's been part of it as well.
I don't know what happened to her, though.
What?
Stephanie actually used to be really good at cutting promos when she wanted to.
Okay, here's the thing. She's good at cutting promos. I'm not knocking her promo skills. I'm knocking the fact that her and Triple H came out literally just about every single week on Raw whenever I would watch it, and they would open with this 20, 30-minute promo, and it's like, I want to watch people fight each other. I want to watch people punch each other in the face, and
that's what wrestling is. People punching each other in the face. Why am I not seeing this right now?
Like, it was...
You'd watch half the show, and half the show would be talking.
Yeah.
Or 2/3 of the show, even.
And you know what? I wouldn't mind it if all that talking was done by Paul Heyman. But you know what? Triple H, Stephanie, guess who you're not?
Oh wait, yeah. Have they given Paul Heyman his own show? I thought you said something about that.
No, they haven't. Not yet anyway. They might.
They need to.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
A 3-hour Paul Heyman show.
I would watch it. I'd watch it.
I'd watch it every week. Paul Heyman.
The Paul Heyman show. The Paul Heyman show.
He can sell you the shirt off of his back.
No, see, Paul Heyman is so good at cutting promos. He could hype up Fandango versus Adam Rose, if Adam Rose is still with the company. Did you get the point? He could hype up a jobber match, like a 2-jobber match, and make it sound like it was going to be the greatest match you will ever see in the history of anything.
Yeah, because he takes that approach of, this is why I'm here, this is what's going to happen, and this is why. And he entices you to pay attention to what he's saying, like no one else in the business can, really.
Yeah. I would argue not even The Rock or CM Punk can do what he does with promos. And they're good. They're really good. I'm not knocking The Rock or CM Punk.
I will say otherwise. And the only reason I will say that is because student, surpasses master.
Well,
and the CM Punk was essentially Paul Heyman's student. And
I guess
cut
so,
the best promo of his career.
I will say CM Punk and The Rock are very good talkers, but, I would say Paul Heyman has a lot more experience with it, and he's doing some of his greatest work right now. Granted, he's not on TV right now, but that's probably going to change soon since SummerSlam is coming up at some point, like in about 2 months. So, Paul Heyman's bound to come back, of course, with his beast, Brock Lesnar. They're going to come back, and Brock is going to kill someone.
He broke Triple H's arm last time he came back.
No, last time he came back, he grabbed the title from John Cena.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then,
right.
And then went off TV for months, and then he came back, and then he lost it to Reigns. No, he lost it. No, he was going to lose it to Reigns at Mania 31, but then they last minute decided, oh yeah, Rollins has Money in the Bank. Let's just use that. Get out of jail free, and they had Rollins pin Reigns for the title.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about this. For the past 3 years, they had WrestleMania main events nobody wanted to see.
Yeah, because let's see.
How did they do that? They go from one event.
No. Here's the thing. The WrestleMania 30 main event, at first, no one wanted to see. Until Daniel Bryan was inserted. When Daniel Bryan was inserted, then people were all for it. But before then, Batista, Randy Orton, people were like, boo. And then WrestleMania 31, no one wanted to see Roman Reigns in the main event, so everyone booed. And then WrestleMania 32, again, no one wanted to see Roman Reigns in the main event, so they booed again.
When does the WWE ever learn?
They don't. The thing was, though, like the 2 Royal Rumbles before this year, they had winners that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted Batista to win, and back then, people were willing to accept a Roman Reigns win at the Royal Rumble. I guess either because Roman Reigns was over at the time because he was still part of the Shield, which that's probably the case, but also it wasn't Batista because no one wanted Batista. No one wanted Batista at the time, and so they all booed him out of the building.
Nobody wants Batista now.
But
that's why they turned him into Batista.
Yeah, but No, he went from Batista to Bootista to Bluetista to Bitista, and then that was it. That was.
Yeah.
And then he left to film Guardians of the Galaxy, and you know, I gotta say, he did a good job in that movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, but then Royal Rumble 2015, I believe it was, right? Reigns won.
Yeah.
That one. And no one wanted that either. He was booed out of the building. But then finally, at the 2016 Royal Rumble, they finally got a winner that people cheered. And he was supposed to be the main heel.
They cheered him because he eliminated the person they didn't want to see win.
Yeah, they cheered him because he wasn't Roman Reigns, because it was Triple H. And they were like, yeah, it's Triple H, woo!
I'm okay with that, though.
I was cheering right along with him on it. Well, honestly, I would have cheered a lot louder if it had been Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose was the last man standing other than Triple H. And everyone was like, no, please. I don't care who wins right now. And, like, honestly...
I wanted Dean Ambrose to win.
Oh, yeah, I wanted Dean Ambrose to win, too. Like, I would have jumped out of my seat and started just celebrating at that point if Ambrose had won. I would have been like, what? No, that didn't just happen. I'd have had to double back for a second and think about if it actually happened. Because that never happens. Oh, it never happens. Poor Ambrose. But anyway, yeah, it's sad when the top heel, who's supposed to be your number one heel at the time, is getting the reaction that, you know, you want your number one babyface to get. Like, the reactions are the opposite of what they want them to be for both of them. I mean, I can't say they didn't try to get Triple H to get booed. What are you doing?
I was actually looking up something that I thought about that I was going to show you and get your opinion of while we were recording this. This is a kid over the events at WrestleMania 31.
Oh, is this the video about that kid freaking out that Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank and won?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
TV.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, this though.
Yeah. I remember this. Like, that kid got so upset. Now, the thing is, I don't know if that reaction was real. Because sometimes these reactions are faked. They're staged reactions to these things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this was fake or not.
I think this one was real. Just because I think it was, you know, they were filming it anyway because
Yeah.
people film their reactions all the time.
Yeah, because people filmed reactions to Sting debuting at Survivor Series. Those were definitely real.
And if, you know, something happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
wrestling is wrestling.
Oh.
It's still ruled to me, damn it.
But anyway, so Rollins cashing in at WrestleMania 31 was their get out of jail free card for that year, but they didn't have that this year.
Yeah.
They didn't have that this year at all, because Sheamus already used his Money in the Bank at Survivor Series of 2015, which, by the way, worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. Most disappointing pay-per-view I've ever seen.
Speaking of worst, let's do our worst 5 matches.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I can't really... Here's the thing. I can't really think of my worst 5 matches because...
I can.
Okay.
Let me start with number 5.
Oh, you actually have an order.
Yeah, kinda. 6-man interspecies match. What the hell is that?
Oh, you mean Los Matadores versus Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Natalya, right?
Yeah. 6-man interspecies.
That was stupid.
Interspecies? Really?
Yeah, you know what? Let me put that one on my top 5 too. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. There, both of us have that on our top 5. All right, moving on. So now I only have to list 4.
What?
Now I only have to list 4.
Yeah. Which Roman Reigns match do I want to put on my list? Because he has a lot of damn bad matches. Although, I will say, all his stuff with the Shield was gold.
Well, the Shield was gold anyway. But
yeah, but that wasn't because of one person. That was a good team.
But
effort.
you know what the thing is? I can't really think of like any really horrendous Roman Reigns matches. I can think of one that really upset me. I'll bring that one up when it's time for mine, because I know which one upset me the most. Because it was very It was a very disappointing match more than I can probably more or less list my most disappointing matches than I can the most terrible.
We could really just go list all the jobber matches all day long.
Oh, definitely.
And list 5 bad ones.
Oh, that brings me to one of mine, but I just thought of a series of matches really.
Go ahead.
No, you keep going. I can remember this one because these are very recent.
Well, it's really hard to say. You're right. I mean, I'm thinking myself, but I gotta say, one of the worst matches I saw was Chavo versus Rey Mysterio after Eddie's death.
Oh.
It was a bad build-up, bad storyline, bad match, in my opinion.
Also, on the topic of Eddie's death, real quick, can I just say, WWE, Randy Orton telling Rey Mysterio that Eddie was in hell. Really?
Yeah.
Did you have to do that? That is just so. I don't care if you say it's a story or not.
Andy, they put God in a match.
Don't remind me.
That is on my list. They put God in a match.
They put God in quotation marks in a match. It was a spotlight. They put a spotlight in a match and called it God.
And they pinned the spotlight.
See, I haven't watched the match, but I don't want to. I don't want to watch this match because it is one of the most. It is one of the most disrespectful matches ever. Because you're basically dissing anyone that believes in God at that point.
Yeah.
And that just, to me, is Vince McMahon just a really arrogant atheist? Is that what I know he was angry that like Shawn Michaels turned to Christianity, and that was why he booked that match.
Yeah. But also,
it makes us look stupid, and that's the sad thing.
But another match that I really, really dislike. This isn't a match I actually saw. This is an old match. But Taker versus Taker. That was a stupid idea.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was a fake Taker, wasn't there?
Fake Taker, yes.
I know there was also a fake Kane at one point.
Yeah, and both of those were just.
Oh, I know fake Kane was especially terrible though. I heard that one was especially terrible.
But my number one, you should know very well.
Is it the match I just watched?
Yes.
Goldberg Lesnar. WrestleMania 20.
It is one of the worst matches of all time. It has been said millions of times by people, by fans. But seriously, am I wrong?
No, you're not. And I will definitely say it is definitely one of the worst matches I have ever seen in my entire life. This dog is just climbing all over me right now. But, yeah, you just showed me that match, and it was boring as crap. They didn't lock up for like 2 minutes. It took them 2 minutes to lock up.
And then they stood around more after that.
Yeah, they stood around even more. Like, if they had, here's the thing. It actually started to get interesting near the end.
Yeah.
That's when it finally picked up, and then it was over. And it was like, alright, you couldn't have just done that the entire match, and, I mean, I know the two were leaving the company, and I know the crowd was so against them that they were probably just destroyed by that. And like, from what I heard, basically what happened was, because the crowd was so negative with that match, like, those two were just like, wow, this is terrible. And they both just lost all passion for it, really. And they both were just like, ugh.
Yeah, no.
They didn't want to do it at that point. And I think that's part of the reason why it sucked so bad, because they didn't want to do it.
Yeah. When you take somebody's pride out of it.
I'm sorry, this dog. Now it was behind me and it was trying to lick the back of my head.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put that on my top 5 as well. So that makes only 3 matches that I got to list. I know 2 right off the bat.
What?
These are more disappointing matches than anything else, really. Well, one of them is disappointing. The other one's just plain bad, really. Definitely one of them. I'm gonna list the bad one first because it's the most recent one that I can think of, and it has to do with this new stupid tag team between Goldust and R-Truth. Because yes, they finally actually teamed up.
Yes.
The Golden Truth is a thing now. And I would have been fine with this if they had just gone ahead and did it. Back then. If they had just teamed up and fine, whatever. I don't care. But now they waited so long, 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months. We had to sit through 5 months of every single week, either R-Truth or Goldust going out to the other one. At first it was Goldust going to R-Truth, then R-Truth going up with Goldust, and they were trying to convince the other one to tag with them. And it just these awkward segments, these really stupid segments, and it
didn't work.
And the sad thing was, got a video package that made the whole thing actually look alright. What is it with these WWE video editors and being able to put up these really good video packages even when the story itself is crap?
Okay, I have a rhetorical response to that. Sonic 06 Crisis City, in the video at the end of Generation.
Let's talk about that later.
No, but I'm saying, same thing.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But anyway, so it's pretty much just and then there's this other tag team, Breezango. It's Tyler Breeze and Fandango. It's so stupid. Breezango, that's the name of the tag team. I will admit, their new theme music is pretty good. Like, it's basically a mashup of Tyler Breeze and Fandango's music, and that's alright, but that's really the only good thing to come out of it. It's terrible. So I'm pretty much just putting up here Golden Truth versus Breezango as one of my top 5 worst matches. Of course, the 2 others that I said that I agreed with you on were that 6-man interspecies tag, the 6-person interspecies tag match on an episode of either Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember which one.
It was on Raw and SmackDown, actually. That happened more than once.
Yeah, that's right. It did, didn't it? Ugh. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But it was Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Talia versus Los Matadores with El Torito. But and then the other one was Goldberg, Lesnar. That sucked. It was terrible. It was absolutely horrid. But in terms of disappointing matches, I'm going back to Survivor Series 2015 because it was the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. No, I haven't seen this December to Dismember yet, and that'll probably be my number 1 hated one when I actually watch it, because I've heard so many terrible things about it. I've heard so many terrible things about December to Dismember that there was only one. December to Dismember, the WWE ECW pay-per-view thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That one.
I thought you were talking about TNA because that's their thing too.
Oh.
That's a TNA pay-per-view.
No, I'm talking about WWE ECW. But anyway, disappointing matches. Survivor Series 2015. Roman Reigns versus, and I hate to put him in this list, Dean Ambrose. I hate putting Ambrose in my list of worst matches because I love Ambrose.
But that match was...
But that match... No, it wasn't that the match was complete crap. It was that... It was so disappointing. I expected a lot more out of that match.
Yeah.
It was only 9 minutes long. It was less than 10 minutes long for the main event, for the championship. And it was built up the whole time, even before the match was officially confirmed, which we all knew it was going to happen anyway, But they were constantly talking about, if Ambrose and Reigns win their matches at Survivor Series, they face each other at Survivor Series for the championship. It's brother versus brother, best friend versus best friend, and now they got to drop that friendship to fight for the title. And it was 9 minutes long. And it was so underwhelming. When it was over, I was like, wait, that's it? That's it? What?
That's kind of like the Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg thing. You gotta admit, when
No.
that was over, you were like...
No, see, at that point, when it was over, I was like, oh, thank God it's over. But, with this one, it's like, that was it? That was it? That was the entire match? How long was this? Checks the time, it was 9 minutes. It was like, what? Why? This match was supposed to be this battle of epic proportions. And Roman Reigns won, which was a disappointing result in and of itself.
You mean Aquaman won?
Yes, Aquaman, totally. But Reigns won, and so he won the title, which in and of itself was disappointing. But what disappointed me even more is that after the match, neither of them turned heel. It was the perfect opportunity for one of them to turn heel on the other. Like, maybe for Ambrose, it would have been pretty easy. Like, Ambrose is like, you screwed me over. I didn't win the title because of you. It's your fault, blah, 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 whatever. But I think it would have made a bit more sense if Reigns turned heel, because Reigns just has that heel aura about him at this point. Because Reigns, I'm sorry, you're not working as a goody two-shoes babyface. You're not working. You're not John Cena. But,
Quoting Looney Tunes doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But he could have turned heel and looked at Ambrose and said, you tried to take this away from me. This was my title. You tried to take this away from me, and now I'm going to take away something from you and, try and, injure him or something like that. Turn heel on Ambrose, which is what people have been wanting Reigns to do for, I don't know, months now? Maybe even a year or so?
But the thing is, people would boo him, and that's because he,
But you know what the thing is?
When somebody's being booed, turn them heel, because
yes,
the boos work.
And people said this after Mania because Roman Reigns is still getting booed even now, even though it's been months after Mania, they're still booing him. He still gets a resounding chorus of boos every single time he enters an arena. And I hear the crowd being toned down every single time. Like, you hear, boo! That's what you hear. You hear that initial boo, and then it just dies down dramatically.
Yeah,
Because they don't want Roman Reigns to be booed. They don't want people to hear Roman Reigns getting booed. And I remember before Mania, they edited one of the clips they put up on their YouTube channel where they were booing Reigns and saying, you still suck, and stuff like that. And they edited it out before they put it out on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, guys, wow, congratulations, you did it. And they didn't even try to pipe in any cheers.
I know, but also, you still suck. You still suck.
But anyway, so my fifth match, and even as I'm talking right now, I'm still trying to decide what exactly to put here. Because one of the matches that immediately springs to mind is being absolutely terrible. One of the worst matches I've ever seen. And I know you said that you found this match to be pretty entertaining. I personally really didn't. I didn't like this match at all. But fake Donald Trump versus fake Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
I just... No. I'm sorry. I find no redeeming qualities in that match other than it's just so goofy and so bad that it's almost entertaining. Alright, but, it just... I don't like the match. I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's terrible. It's awful. And, and the thing was, they had Rosie O'Donnell, the fake Rosie O'Donnell, do all these little fat jokes like, oh, look at them eating cake, and Donald Trump had the hair thing, which admittedly that was pretty funny, the hair. He's constantly messing with his hair,
Yeah.
Whatever. It's Donald Trump. He's an idiot anyway.
But, I got one more top 5 I want to do before we move on to sports entertainment
Okay.
versus wrestling.
Actually, one more thing about Donald Trump, though.
Yeah.
Why is he in the Hall of Fame?
Because he is. He's a millionaire.
Screw
He's got to be in the Hall of Fame.
screw
But my top... This is the top 5 worst moments.
Ooh, worst moments.
Or moments or storylines that you can think of.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a moment that springs to... I'm going to tell mine first because I can think of a few that just come to mind. First of all, this is an old segment, but a lot of people know this, and it's stupid. When Vince McMahon tried to have a relationship with Trish Stratus.
Oh, made her bark like a dog and stuff like that. That one?
Yeah.
His midlife crisis crap?
Yeah, midlife crisis crap. That's one. Again, number 2 is God, because you don't do that. It's just no.
No.
Number 3, Stone Cold, the handshake. Just don't do it. Just
Everyone knows what you're talking about. You don't even have to say where it happened. Everyone knows.
Just don't.
Everyone knows what you're talking about. The Stone Cold heel turn. That's all you need to say.
Just don't. Please erase that from existence. Please.
Oh.
He says it himself. That was probably one of his worst moments of his career.
Yeah, I think
shaking his hand.
I think he didn't he say that if he could, he'd go back and change it to him stunning him, right?
Yeah.
Which would have been a lot better. But
yeah.
You know, whatever. It happened, so it's. I will say though, I've seen some of his backstage segments with Kurt Angle during the time that he was a heel. And
yeah.
I'll be honest.
That was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I will give it that.
The most hilarious thing to me that I've ever seen is when Edge started doing "You Suck."
The Kurt Angle thing.
Yeah, that is all.
That started the "You Suck" thing.
Yeah, that will live in infamy forever for me.
I wouldn't even say infamy, just
like. But
it's just hilarious.
Number 4, I will admit, was an okay match, but the story, the build-up, all of that was bullshit. And that's got to be Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Oh, this
year? There was no fucking reason for that to happen. What the fuck?
Yeah, especially at this point, because this dog's trying to scratch me now. But yeah, I'll agree with you on that one actually. I wouldn't really call it one of my worst moments, maybe not, but you know, I will say it was very bad, very bad.
That shouldn't have happened, and
there was no point to it anyway, because even though Shane lost, he still controls Raw.
Yeah.
Because Vince was like, you know what? Fuck it. I guess it's like, oh, I'm so glad Shane won that match against The Undertaker. Although, to be fair, I think Shane did bring this up at one point. Vince, at the beginning, I'm not sure if he ever actually said it before Mania, but he, when he first proposed it, Vince never said Shane had to win that match.
Yeah.
He just said he had to fight. He had to have the match. That was it. That was all he said about it. Granted, yes, it was implied that, you know, oh, he's got to win the match. But he never said anything about it. And Shane brought that up, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess. Even though it was part of the stipulation anyway, but, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so, number 5 then. What's your 5th one?
I just had it in my head and I lost it, actually.
No.
I'm trying to remember now.
I know one storyline that I'm definitely putting up there, and it's definitely my number 1. I know exactly what my number 1 is. I know that one right off the top of my head, and I'm going to say it last, because I know exactly what it is.
You know what I'm really mad about? There was no point in him even coming to WWE. And that's Sting. He never won.
And that's sad because I liked Sting.
Sting is probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, but he never won in a WWE ring, like anything important. I think he won like what, one match?
No, he won 2 matches on Raw. One of them was a tag match with John Cena on his team. That was it. He won a singles match against The Big Show. The Big Show. And he won a tag team match with John Cena on his team. That was it. Both on the same episode of Raw, right before Night of Champions, where he got injured and pretty much had to retire at the Hall of Fame.
So yeah.
And I hate
that is bullshit.
I hate that I have to agree with you that might actually be one of the most disappointing things that I've seen ever, because when I saw Sting, on Raw and stuff, I loved it. Because he was the dark kid. He was basically what Bray Wyatt should be right now.
Yeah.
He was dark. He was like, I can appear whenever I want. I will do what I want when I want, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Oh my God, he might shoot me
with that baseball bat. I will say, though, there was one moment in the Sting Triple H match that I really loved, and it was when Sting took the baseball bat and broke Triple H's hammer in half. That was an amazing moment. Because you saw Triple H just like, what?
I don't think he was planning for that to happen.
I think they definitely planned it to happen.
I don't think so.
But anyway, so I guess on to my top 5. I'm not in any particular order except number 1. That's gonna be the last one I talk about. I'm gonna go and put that Sting one up there, probably as my number 5, because honestly, I wouldn't call it terrible.
Yeah.
I would call it disappointing, because I expected a lot more. Because if Sting had won that match at Mania, all probably would have been right with the world. Sting wins the match at Mania. That's that. All right, that would have been fine.
Give him his Mania moment.
Give Sting his WrestleMania win. Give it to him. He deserves it. He's been in the industry for how long?
Long enough.
Well, yeah. He was the surfer guy Sting for a while, and then sometime in the late 90s when the NWO started up, he became the Crow Sting. And that's honestly probably one of my favorite versions of Sting, is the black and white face paint,
It's mine. I can tell you that.
The jacket, the baseball bat, just everything. I love that version of Sting, and that's why I like to play as him when I play the wrestling games, because he looks really good, and his music is great.
Yeah.
Especially his 99 music, like 99 Sting. That's one of my favorite Sting to play as because of the music. Because that music, I love it.
When did you play as Sting, though?
Well, I can only play them in 2K16, so
Oh, he's in 2K16.
Yeah, he's in 2K16. He was in 2K15, but as a pre-order bonus, kind of like
Gold. Okay.
He was basically Goldberg of 2K15.
Yeah.
So,
Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm trying to think of some other really terrible things. I will say one terrible result to a match. Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar at Mania this year. And again, I hate putting Dean Ambrose in these worst categories, like in these worst things. But it's when he gets screwed over is when I'm upset, because he got screwed over at Mania. He should have won that match. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you think that would have delegitimized Brock, because it wouldn't have. I'm sorry. Losing at Mania in a street fight does not delegitimize you, because everything is legal. Dean could have done whatever he wanted to. He could have low-blowed him the entire match and then won. He could have done that, and it would have been fine. because it was legal. Everything was legal.
And he could have had his WrestleMania moment.
He could have had that moment. Dean deserves it at this point. The only
moment they had was with the Shield, where they won at Mania.
That was it. Dean hasn't really had his Mania moment. Rollins has had his. Reigns has had his.
Dean
deserves it. And, like... Yeah, I know. We've been talking about wrestling for 40 minutes now. But we'll talk about something else in a little bit. But I want to get this off my chest because every time I think about Brock Lesnar, my mind now immediately goes to Dean Ambrose and his match against Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania that really ticked me off. Because for one, it wasn't even that extreme. It was marketed as a street fight, but there was barely anything. It might as well have just been a no DQ match, because that's all it was. It was tame. It was very tame. I've seen much more extreme matches in PG WWE. I've seen blood. Brock Lesnar bled at WrestleMania last year. You know, and Undertaker and Brock both bled at Hell in a Cell this past year.
But you know what I gotta say to that? ECW. They should have kept ECW, and they should make that the hardcore brand and make it what it is for the fans who want to see. I mean, not that
from what I've seen of it though, they screwed it up when they brought it over.
Yeah, they did. But not that they, need that because all the Raw and SmackDown can't be brutal. But if you want to brand something as
extreme, then make it extreme. Yeah. That's the thing. And I'm not bloodlust. I'm not bloodthirsty. I would have just liked to seen some blood in that match.
Yeah.
Because it would have helped, especially if Dean had won. Or heck, if you really wanted to push Lesnar as the monster and have him win, then at least allow Ambrose to really push Lesnar. They claimed he did, but he didn't. Lesnar didn't look tired at all after that match. Yeah. Like, he looked like he just jogged or something. That was it.
Alright, but
he just had sweat rolling down his face.
We need to move on.
Yeah. Anyway, I got
three. We want to talk about something else.
I got to talk about 3 more things still.
Yeah.
I still got to pick 3 more disappointing or just terrible things. Because I know my number 1. I got to think of 2 more things though. That's the thing. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it again, even though I brought it up in my worst matches. Reigns Ambrose Survivor Series.
Ambrose again.
Ambrose getting screwed over again, and not just that, but Roman Reigns not turning heel, and not to mention also the moment afterwards. That's actually what I wanted to bring up. I remember that one now. I wanted to bring that up, and I thought about it as I was talking about Ambrose Lesnar a little while ago, and I thought about it, but I didn't keep it in mind. This is what I actually wanted to talk about. Sheamus cashing in at Survivor Series. No. No one wanted that. No one wanted Sheamus to be champion. I didn't want Sheamus to be champion. You didn't want Sheamus to be champion. No one watching this wanted Sheamus to be champion. No one wanted Sheamus to be champion. So why was he champion?
Because he had to be. They needed a person to hand it over to Roman, I guess.
Well, Roman had the title, and then he took it from him. Like, he had the title for a whole 5 minutes, and then Sheamus took it from him, and then Roman just won it back on Raw about a month later. And that was that. Which, to be fair, that was the one time during those first few weeks that Roman was champion. I started hearing cheers for Roman, and I was like, and I started to cheer for him a little bit too, because I was like, oh, they're finally turning Reigns around. And now we're going to get to, actually, I just thought of this one too. I'm going to put this one up here now. Turning the Royal Rumble this year into the Roman Rumble, into, all about Reigns. One versus all, and Reigns.
One versus all, and a 15-man break. One versus all, and a 15-man break.
That ticked me off more than anything. If you were going to make it about Roman,
one versus all the whole time.
Here was my main complaint about that Royal Rumble. If you were going to make it all about Roman, then at least have Roman compete from the time he entered the match at number 1 until Triple H came in at number 30. At least have him actually fight during all of that. At least make Roman, I hate to say it like this, but make him look strong. If you were going to have him win
You
it...
gotta make Roman look really strong.
But here's the thing.
They didn't.
They didn't. They made him look like a wimp. And that's not a champion. And I'm not saying I want Roman to be at the top. I don't want him at the top right now. I sure, let him get at the top after he's over. All right?
Yeah.
He can get over. Just let him turn heel. That's all he needs. He needs a heel turn, he needs character development, and he needs to stop trying to do this stupid, I'm the babyface act.
He's not a babyface.
He's not a babyface.
He doesn't even like talking to people.
No, he doesn't. And let him be who he was when he was in the Shield. The silent badass who kicks your ass.
And the thing I gotta say to that is, let him be silent, but give him a mouthpiece.
Hold up, let me think. Who could this person be? Great talker, can hype any match, can make someone sound very dominant. And he seems to be the mouthpiece of a certain beast at the moment. Oh yeah, Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
Give him Paul Heyman. For God's sake, give Paul Heyman something to do.
He can't talk, so give him Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Roman can't talk. Give him Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman can talk for him, and have Roman stand there like Brock Lesnar does. I'm not saying make Roman Brock Lesnar.
Yes, make Roman Brock Lesnar.
I'd say make him similar, but I wouldn't say clone Brock Lesnar, because
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. But let Roman be silent.
Who he is.
Let him
Let
be
him
that.
be who he is.
It ticks me off. But anyway, my number one. I talked to you about this before, and I've said it several times ever since it happened. The Dolph Ziggler, Lana, Rusev, Summer Rae, love square rectangle.
The thing is, I didn't see that, so I can't say
Oh. I do not feel bad for you in the slightest. That was the most uncomfortable time to be a wrestling fan for me, honestly. Because,
that. Lana broke kayfabe, though.
and you know what? Honestly, good. It ended the storyline, and I'm so glad. Because here's what happened. Lana broke up with Rusev because Rusev was being a jerk. Okay, fair enough. So she slaps Rusev and leaves him. And then she goes and, hooks up with Dolph Ziggler. Okay, a little weird to have her be hooking up with someone else already, but I mean, maybe it could work. I mean, maybe we can have the storyline where Rusev is trying to win back Lana's love. Maybe we can turn Rusev into a face of some sort, and but no, they tried to keep Rusev heel, and they gave him Summer Rae. Summer Rae came to comfort Rusev, and Rusev got. And the thing is, Rusev was supposed to be the heel, but he actually ended up being the most sympathetic. He ended up being the guy you sympathize the most with because he got injured at least once or twice throughout the entire angle. And then,
The thing is, though,
he lost everything. And it made you feel bad for him. And you're not supposed to.
yeah, but also, the thing with WWE is they made him play a Russian, or not a Russian, but
Well, he is Bulgarian, but
Bulgarian.
yeah, they tried to make him play a Russian. They tried to make him Russian, but but now they actually call him the Bulgarian Brute, and he is from Bulgaria now.
Yeah,
so
but
they dropped the whole Russian thing. Lana is still from Russia, but Rusev is not.
But what I'm saying is, they take all these different types of people, make them from all of these different places, and they do that to give them not background, but it's almost kind of like a race thing.
Yeah,
where they try to say
the evil foreigner.
Yeah.
And I like what they're doing with Rusev now. He's back to being a monster heel, which is what he was best at doing anyway. He goes in the ring, he puts the accolade on people, makes them hurt, and he leaves. That's Rusev.
Yeah, but also, you never see somebody from another country be a face.
Well, unless that other country is Canada.
Yeah.
Or Switzerland now, because Cesaro's a face.
He is?
Yeah. So, that's that. You get some, foreigners that are faces.
But alright, let's stop talking about wrestling.
Yeah, anyway, but just to sum up that story, all that, all this crazy stuff happened where, Rusev was basically made Summer Rae Lana 2.0. They kept saying that, and it annoyed me, really, but
Lana 2.0.
It was, he made her dress up like Lana did, and it was so stupid. And then, it was just a stupid angle. I can't accurately summarize it because of just how stupid it was, but I certainly don't encourage going back and watching it just to see what I'm talking about. Don't do it. Don't do it. For the love of God, don't. Just don't. Don't do it.
For the love of mankind, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That is one storyline that I wish WWE would erase from history, and it seems like they already are.
Don't do it.
They haven't mentioned it since, but then Lana eventually got engaged to Rusev in real life.
And broke kayfabe.
And, TMZ reported on it, and then Vince was like, and ended the storyline entirely, had Summer Rae break up with Rusev, and then have Lana get back with Rusev, and that was that.
And that broke kayfabe.
And it broke kayfabe, but you know what? It's the one time where I will say, good. Thank you for ending that storyline so abruptly, because I could not stand it any longer.
But moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. All right. So what do we want to talk about next? Because we've talked about wrestling for about 50 minutes now.
But we're not done.
Oh, that's right. Wrestling versus sports entertainment. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way then. Very quickly, hopefully.
What do you consider wrestling and what do you consider sports entertainment? And what is the difference?
See, I agree with Adam on a lot of this stuff that he said in his video about this.
I didn't see it, actually.
I showed it to you. The Adam's pipe bomb thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Where one thing that he brought up, is that, sports entertainment. When I first heard that term, I was like, but isn't that just sports when you air them on TV? Isn't it entertainment based on sport? What? Is there a difference? And it confused me because surely, like he said, aren't all sports broadcast with the purpose of entertainment in mind? Like football is broadcast with the purpose of entertaining people. Baseball is broadcast with the purpose of entertaining people. Granted, it fails for me, but whatever. That's not. I'm not a sports guy, so I'm not exactly into all this. I can watch a football match.
Entertainment.
Now, I will say, I generally prefer the term wrestling. Just overall, I kind of prefer that term because, for one thing, it's easier to say. It rolls off the tongue a bit better.
Wrestling is wrestling.
Wrestling is wrestling, and, I know people, I know that can confuse people sometimes because then they have to ask, are you talking about WWE stuff or are you talking about actual wrestling? Like, NCAA, collegiate wrestling, Olympic wrestling, and stuff like that. Which, by the way, is boring. I can't watch that stuff. It's so boring. It's so boring. Ugh.
I can't watch wrestling, but I watch fighting. I like a lot of fighting.
And
I like that boxing, man.
Here's the thing. I don't completely hate the term sports entertainment. But I know you do, but I don't hate the term. I mean, I get that it's not exactly the best term to use to describe wrestling and this kind of stuff, but
I feel like it disrespects them more than anything.
Maybe. I get that, but also I kind of get why he does that because here's the thing. Vince actually came out to some sort of New Jersey thing or whatever, and basically said they're not athletes, they're just entertainers, just so that he could get away with not paying taxes, like having wrestling not be taxed. So, and I know that Vince loves the fact that he did that and loves the sports entertainment thing, and that's his brand. But
you can't say wrestling is sports entertainment in other companies.
Here's the thing. I don't hate the term sports entertainment. What I hate is the term superstar. That's what I hate. Because that's what I think delegitimizes them. Because you can say sports entertainment all you want. At least that way it's, you can make the distinction between, wrestling and other sports.
Yeah.
But when you call them superstars, first of all, I'll say wrestler because it's easier to say. Less syllables, first of all. Unless you really stretch it out like wrestler, but even then, wrestler is just easier to say. Superstar, I don't think you deserve that title unless you are a star.
Yeah.
John Cena, as much, again, I'm not a John Cena, I know probably at this point a lot of people are probably going to end up thinking that I'm a John Cena fan, but I'm really not. But at this point, he does deserve the moniker of superstar. He's been in the business long enough, and he's been at the top long enough. He deserves that moniker. Stone Cold is a superstar.
Yeah.
The Rock is one. I'd say Mick Foley's one as well. All these legends. They call them legends, but I could also call them superstars, and it would be the same thing, really.
Yeah, but Dolph Ziggler is not a superstar.
No, he's not.
Cesaro is not a superstar.
No. And look, I like Cesaro. I like Kevin Owens. I like Sami Zayn.
Roman Reigns.
I like Dean Ambrose, but none of them are superstars. Because
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns isn't one either. He doesn't deserve it.
Yes,
right now.
he is. According to Vince, he is a superstar.
Well, yeah. If we're gonna go off the logic of WWE, then yeah, he's a superstar. Because he won the title like 3 times now. Ugh, that's sad. But. And he won them all in less than a year, by the way. That's the sadder thing.
Also, John Cena 2016.
He's probably gonna win the title again at some point.
He's got to. He's got to beat Ric Flair.
Yeah, he's gonna beat Ric Flair at some point, but when it happens, it's gonna happen, and I'll be like, oh, I knew it. It's gonna happen. But.
And then there's gonna be pitchforks and fires instead of freaking because somebody's gonna burn that building to the ground.
But man,
Ric Flair though.
Again, I don't hate the term sports entertainment as much as you do.
Yeah.
But what I hate is the term superstar because they use it too much.
But you also don't understand the reason I hate sports entertainment because I've never really gave that reason.
Okay, go ahead.
Told you.
Yeah, because I don't think you've ever told me why you hate the term so much. I remember one time we were recording something, and I said, I said sports entertainment more in a joking manner, honestly.
Yeah.
But you still told me, like, don't ever say that again.
The reason I hate sports entertainment so much is I feel it's degrading. I feel it's disrespectful. I feel like, it's not wrestling anymore. It's entertainment. But what you're looking at is a spectacle known as wrestling. And to take the sport of wrestling out of it is like taking the ball and the bat out of baseball and just throwing, or whatever. You can't do it. You can't take the hitting out of football. Even though they try, you can't take the hitting out of football.
Yeah, they're almost trying to.
And call it football. Yeah. You just can't. And the fact is, if Vince is like so against the term wrestler.
Yeah, he hates it when people say it too. It's really weird.
But what are they then? They're not. As much as you want them to say it, they're not sports entertainers. They are wrestlers. Wrestlers.
Yeah. And I agree with you.
They wrestle. They don't. sports entertain.
Yeah.
There's no such sport as sports entertaining. That's not a thing. It's wrestling. To the core, at the end of the day, it is wrestling. And that infuriates me when you try to say it's sports entertainment, because it's not. It is fucking wrestling. And you can go to any other company. Oh, this is sports entertainment. No, Vince created that in his own little fucked up head because he is fucked up in the head. He lives in his own world. But if you go out to another company, it's called pro wrestling. Pro wrestling.
Yeah, because let me see. We got New Japan Pro Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, Ring of Honor, which is
Wrestling.
Wrestling. Let's see, Global.
Tell me any other company other than WWE that uses the term sports entertainment.
I don't think any of them really use the term entertainment either. Like, even in their names, I don't think, because there was ECW, which was Extreme Championship Wrestling. It was also Eastern Championship Wrestling at one point, but
yeah.
There was WCW, World Championship Wrestling. There was WCCW, which was what was that one? I know there was WCCW. I just can't remember what it stands for. I know there was also the
Collegiate Championship Wrestling?
Yeah, I think it might have been. I don't know. I know there was also the WWWF before, which was the precursor to the WWF before it became the WWE. But I just
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, and I agree with you again to an extent. But I will say, they do put it on for entertainment purposes. I mean, you can't deny that. But
Yeah.
then again, all sports are put on for entertainment purposes, so it's really a moot point. It's basically redundant to say that. And I get that. But, it just, I don't hate the term as much as other people do. Probably because I haven't been into wrestling as long as everyone else has that I know that is into it. Because I know you've been into this stuff for years and years. Almost your whole life, I think. Me, on the other hand...
On and off, yes.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand...
World-class championship wrestling.
Yeah, world-class championship wrestling, that's right. But, as for me, I've only been in this thing ever since early last year. And actually, I forgot to talk about that. I said I was going to talk about how I got into wrestling. But we can do that on the next podcast because we've gone over an hour, and we're still talking about wrestling, even though we said we were going to talk about other stuff. But... I guess we just want to get all this stuff off our chest already, and we can save other stuff for other podcasts. And we apologize that this episode of the podcast is focusing so much on wrestling, but there's so much we want to say.
All right, then since we're gonna go back to
all right, let's talk about other stuff now.
Really? I thought you were just gonna finish on wrestling.
No,
I thought you were actually about to close it out, but all right.
No, I'm not gonna close it out because we said we were gonna talk about other things. And I don't want to say that at the beginning and then not do it.
I actually want to talk about cartoons that we watched as a kid that had an effect on our life.
Ooh, alright.
Because one I mentioned was Avatar. I mentioned that in the beginning.
Did you? Oh, yeah, I think you might have. We didn't talk about that much, though. It was
No, I didn't mention it during the podcast. I said I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I didn't get to watch that show that much as a kid, actually.
I did. I watched every season, and I fell in love from the very first episode.
It's a great series. It's like this. It's this anomaly where, there are a lot of kids shows that can't say this, but it's a kids show that is also entertaining to adults, because I can still go back and watch this. I bet we could both. Yeah. I bet we could both still go back and watch the entire series.
We're going to do commentary on it.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to make a thing where we go back and watch these episodes
and
do commentary.
I guarantee you, we can go back and watch that entire series and love it just as much as we did when we were kids.
I know we can, but that's why I said we're going to do a commentary on it.
Because
we're going to put it on YouTube, and we're going to let them find it and go listen to us and while they're watching the show and tell us what they think.
Yeah, and actually, it might actually be the perfect time because Walmart and other stores actually have the complete series all in one package for a good price, honestly, for that series. I can't remember what exactly it is, but I know it's cheaper than buying all the...
Book 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's book 1, 2, and 3. That's the entire series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all 3 books combined into one package, and it's a great deal, honestly, if you can get your hands on it. I don't have it yet, but
They
I
got
want it.
book 1, 2, and 3 at Target for like $10 a piece.
Yeah, but this is cheaper than that, I think.
If you can find it.
I think it's like 25 or something like that. I can't remember what it is. I know it's at Walmart though. You can find it at Walmart. I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up anytime soon, but I know I've been wanting to because Macy hasn't seen it actually.
She hasn't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Apparently not.
Another series that I want you to watch, which is entertaining to me still, and I've watched the movies, but I haven't really watched I've watched the cartoon, but I haven't watched the whole series, is Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I've seen the first movie, and that's about all I've seen of it. That's
It's
all.
good.
Oh, I love Kung Fu Panda. It's a great movie.
Like,
Jack Black is good.
Yes, Jack Black is freaking awesome. But that's another series that makes me take on life in a different way. Like, you know, they have so much that they say. Like, there's so much in each one of these series that I'm talking about where they say stuff like philosophies of life and the way they live and stuff like that I take and I look at, like, you know,
Yeah.
I can actually take out and look at in the real world and be like, oh, hey, I might be able to use that one day.
Yeah, I think Kung Fu Panda does teach a good lesson. But you know what the thing is? What I like about Kung Fu Panda is that lesson that they teach, and it's basically that, you know, just because people think you don't look like, you know, a model or whatever, you know, you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't do it.
Which is something...
It's very important to know that, and the good thing is it doesn't really hammer it in, like, they don't actually say that point. They just kind of imply it and let you figure that out.
Yeah.
I like it when movies do that, when they don't hammer in the point, when they're, and beat it into your head. Because to me that kind of ruins it, because it's like, well, yeah, we could have figured that out for ourselves. We didn't need you to say anything. Like The Lorax was one of those movies that really was like, oh, and I mean the new Lorax movie, because there's an old Lorax cartoon
which was good.
Which was really good. I've seen it, and it ends on this note where you can think for yourself. You know, maybe I should, help the environment or something like that. But in that movie, it's like, care about the environment, care about the environment. And it's sad when I say this, but Sonic the Hedgehog, that cartoon series, and actually let's go and talk about that because it's an amazing series. The Sat AM cartoon had a much better environmental message than the Lorax character that's all about the environment.
Alright, but since you're saying that, Sonic AM is a great cartoon, but you know a cartoon that doesn't give one shit about the environment? Any of the Ninja Turtles cartoons, and they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Because they don't care about the environment at all.
The cartoons, yes.
They're just like, everywhere.
There was one live action series that I haven't seen yet, but I heard was absolutely terrible. The Next Mutation, I believe it was called.
But let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
What do you think about the new
Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
I haven't caught up on it yet. I need to get back to it, but I really, really love it. It is basically, to me, the perfect Ninja Turtles animated series. Because, and you know this, you heard my transition, basically. Going into it, I was like, this is going to be awful. It's going to be the worst Ninja Turtles thing I've ever seen. And, at first...
And it was great.
And then, I watched the first episode, and you heard me go from, it's going to be terrible to, I mean, it was okay. Because I didn't want to admit that, that I enjoyed it as much as I did. And then the second episode came along, and I'm just like, it's great. I love this thing. This is amazing. I can't deny it.
It was. I've seen it.
And I think we both went into it with very low expectations.
Yeah.
And we were both just blown out of... Our minds were blown, because this cartoon was amazing.
But speaking of which, speaking of my mind being blown...
we're going to go to that one, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Dragon Ball Z.
Battle of Gods.
Battle of Gods.
Amazing movie.
My mind was blown. And I think, if a movie can do that, It is great.
You know, I might actually. This is gonna be one of the few videos I might link from our old channel. I might actually link this video because people have to see this. And even though it wasn't your exact reaction at that time, because you had died down just a little bit at that point.
Yeah.
I remember when we were walking out of that theater and we were in the car driving back to your place. You were just like you could not get over it.
I couldn't.
You couldn't shut up.
That was a good movie. That was amazing, and I'm still to this day never seen a movie that has got me like that.
Because you went into it with like these very low expectations. You went into it thinking it was gonna be like one of the worst things ever, if I remember correctly. You were not looking forward to it all that much.
I thought it was gonna be okay, but I didn't think it was gonna be what the DBZ was when I was a child, because, you know, the only thing they made after the ZBZ of me when I was a child.
Well, they made a ton of movies afterwards, but like, then they stopped for a while, and then they made Dragon Ball Evolution.
Well, I've never really seen many of the movies. All I remember seeing is after DBZ was GT, and that impression
It doesn't
was stuck
count.
in my mind.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. It doesn't exist. It does not. It's not canon. GT does not exist.
Actually, it is canon.
No. No.
It actually only it depends on your opinion, and the director, the person who wrote it, said that it can be canon if you consider it canon.
Really?
And if not, if you don't consider it canon, it's not.
Okay, well in that case,
that's what he said.
It's not canon then. We can just say it's not canon. Because now Goku has higher stages of Super Saiyan than Super Saiyan 4. So there's no point to it anymore. There's no point in keeping it canon.
But
Super Saiyan God exists.
But of course, it doesn't consider canon in that timeline, because that's technically still after DBZ.
Yeah, Battle of Gods takes place after DBZ, but before the supposed
GT.
events of GT.
Yeah.
Which means that now that he has Super Saiyan God, now GT doesn't make any sense if that's part of the same timeline, because why would he go Super Saiyan 4 if he can go Super Saiyan God? Makes no sense.
Alright, but I gotta talk about an anime that I know you just absolutely love now.
I hope you don't mean that in a sarcastic tone.
I do.
Oh boy.
I gotta talk about Bleach.
You know,
because over the years, I know you've probably changed a little bit.
I have yet to really give it a chance. I read a bit of the manga a long time ago, and I didn't get it at the time. I don't know if it's any better now that I've matured.
The thing is, with Bleach, I think it's kind of like Dragon Ball, in a way where he has all these different forms that make no fucking sense, but yet.
Well, that's shonen anime. That's shonen anime in general. Yeah. Naruto does it. Dragon Ball did it. Apparently now Bleach did it. I don't think Soul Eater really did it, honestly.
But
now that I think about it, but you know, there's a lot of shonen anime that do stuff like that. Like if it's this series where the character grows and grows and grows, they have these transformations that sometimes they just make no sense.
But yeah, I hate that anime. I really do. That is one of the anime that I cannot stand. I know somebody who liked it, but I'm not that person. I can't stand it. I really can't.
I never got into it. You know, back then I think I very much hated it because back then I was on the side of like Naruto, because back then I thought there was like this war between Naruto and Bleach, and it was just, I was so stupid.
There's no war between Naruto and Bleach. It's the same writer, but
no, it's not the same writer.
Not the same writer, but the same company that puts it out.
Well, they put out the anime. Viz Media puts out the anime over here in America.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same animators though, because otherwise that would have been really tough because they were airing at the same time.
But
you know, as kids, we all had like those two series that was like, you know, one we hate, the other one we love, and we have to stick by the one that we love no matter what logical arguments the other side brings up about their show, because our show is better. So for me it was Naruto, and the rival show was Bleach.
I
And
actually
so
never had that.
really,
Yeah.
huh? Interesting, because I used to have that mindset because I was a dumb kid.
I never had that because I was like, why subject myself to...
Yeah, and
that
I've grown.
because the reason is, because as much as I love anime, I couldn't say, hey, this show is better, because it was just all the same to me. It was like, oh my god, this is a great anime. Oh my god, this is a great anime. Oh my god, this is a great anime.
Yeah, but there are anime that I consider better than others. Like,
Yeah.
I consider Dragon Ball Z a much better anime than Naruto at this point. There's a lot of anime I consider better than both of them, though. But that's beside the point, really. And I know there's some people that might get mad at me for saying anything's better than Dragon Ball Z, but
Let's make our top 5.
Oh no, no.
Yes, because we did it with wrestling, now we're doing it with Dragon Ball.
Or anime.
Anime, yeah.
God. I would say number 5 at this point for me would be Naruto. I honestly, I used to be completely in love with the show, if you can't tell from my username. My username at the moment is Tachi9695, and that's just been my username. I've just kept that username. I haven't changed it at all. Like, I just use it because it's my thing now, and I can't think of anything different to use right now. And it's stuck. Because Itachi's always been my favorite character in that show. He still is, honestly, and he's... him and Shikamaru are probably my favorite characters in that entire show. But, the show itself, I should say the manga, because the anime has way too much filler, and it's still not done yet. Yeah. They're not done with the anime yet, even though the manga's been done for over a year now. They're not done with the anime. And even now, they're coming out with a new series. They're continuing it, even after the original series ended. Boruto, it's based on Naruto's kid. And to be fair, Kishimoto isn't writing it. But I feel like after the last movie, after the last chapter, it should have just ended and been done. It should done, over, no more. It should have just ended. And it's not that I hate the series. It's just that, it probably should have ended a long time ago, but they dragged it on. He dragged it on for so long because it's making me money. And I can't fault him for that, honestly. I mean, if it's making you money, why would you stop? But, I think that's why Toriyama kept making Dragon Ball Z, even after the Cell Saga, because money. And you can't deny money. I mean, I would have done it. If I were in their places, I would have done it, honestly, because, money. But there are some times where I see a series end, where I see a point in a series where I'm like, okay, it could end here, and I'd be fine with it. Like with Dragon Ball Z, Cell Saga, it was done. And actually, I'm going to say number 4 is Dragon Ball Z for me. But
oh, you're doing yours now?
Yeah, I've been doing mine. I said number 5 is Naruto.
Oh, yeah.
But, Naruto at number 5, not because I don't like it, but because I don't like it nearly as much as I used to, and now that I look back on it, it's kind of cliche, and it's got a lot of cliches in it. It's got a lot of just, really just, I don't know, it's over the top, and while I like over the top, what I miss is that it used to be a mix of, somewhat serious but more goofy than anything. And I like that. When an anime like that, when you start out like that, don't take yourself too seriously. But that happened. Part 2 of Naruto, it got way too serious. It took itself way too seriously near the end of the series. That's what I hated about it. Sure, they got more goofiness back when after the final battle, but I felt like it got way too serious for its own good.
Yeah.
Like, it tried to take itself too seriously, and that's what kind of killed it for me for a while. But, and the filler sucks. Filler always sucks.
Yeah, but continue.
Anyway, so number 4 is Dragon Ball Z. I already said it, but I don't really have to say much about Dragon Ball Z. It's basically almost everyone's gateway anime at this point. Because
that's how people start.
because that's how a lot of people started. Because that was one of the first anime that really got popular over here. You know, it was that, and maybe Cowboy Bebop for some, because they were airing about the same time, if I remember correctly. But I know Dragon Ball Z was definitely very popular over here, and it got just so popular. And not a lot of people knew at the time that it was from Japan. You know, I think there are a lot of adults even today that still think Dragon Ball Z is a cartoon, and they don't know it's an anime. They don't know it's from Japan. They think it was an American thing. But I think that's what's so great is that once these kids learned that it actually originated from Japan, they were like, oh, what other kind of shows did Japan have? Because this was awesome. But for me, my gateway anime, and I'm gonna put two in one slot, and I know this is kind of cheating, but they were both on at about the same time, and I like them both pretty much equally. Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, because they were my gateway anime.
All right, stop. I gotta stop you there.
Okay.
Now, you have to admit, over the last few years, you have become a Pokemon addict.
Fair enough.
And that it might have been your gateway anime, but you didn't play it until recently.
I did play it for a while, and I tried to get into the games for a good while. In fact, I actually played XD Gala Darkness for a good long while. I loved that game. I still do. It's a good game, but I never got into it as much as I am now. I was never the Pokemon nerd that I am now. I'm not, and I still wouldn't consider myself a Pokemon nerd, because there's still a lot of Pokemon that I don't know. You know, you could name off some random Pokemon, probably from Gen 5 or something, that I probably wouldn't know. But, you know, and to be fair, it's not that Pokemon's gotten really any worse. It's, you know, and I don't, in all honesty,
about the same.
In all honesty, I honestly think it's gotten better. The games have, honestly, because I love Gen 6. I know there are a lot of people that don't, but, like, I love Gen 6. I love a lot of the new Pokemon in Gen 6, honestly. I don't think many of them are very badly designed. Like, I think some people see the very badly designed Pokemon like Trubbish or Garbodor or, you know, Vanillux or, you know, stuff like that and think, oh, all the Pokemon in this generation are terrible. But no, that's just like 2 or 3. There are tons of Pokemon now that I consider to be greatly designed, like Tyranitar. Like Tyranitar, I mean, it's a T-Rex Pokemon. You can't say that that's not a good Pokemon. Sylveon has a very good design. It's cute. I like Sylveon. You know, I like Hawlucha.
Yeah.
Hawlucha's amazing looking. I like Greninja. You know, there's a lot of Pokemon from this generation that I really, really like.
All right, but we're getting on a tangent.
Yeah. Anyway, I should get off the gaming tangent and get focused back on the anime. But Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon were basically my gateway anime. More so Yu-Gi-Oh, honestly, because while I love the Pokemon anime, it got me really, and that's what really got me into Pokemon in the first place to begin with, because I mean it happened to a lot of kids over here. Really, they saw the anime and bought the games because of the anime. But I remember watching the first few seasons where it was Ash, Misty, and Brock. I remember having so many fond memories of that, and that show it's still good. I really love it. But you know, and while I would say that I like Yu-Gi-Oh more, I put both of them in the same slot because they have just the same amount of importance to me, and that says something. Like, I'll admit Yu-Gi-Oh is the better anime. Pokemon is also very important to me, so I had to put it on the list at some point. And I will also say, there's a lot of people that will say, oh, Pokemon, the anime's gotten even worse as it's gone on, but I like the X and Y anime from what I've seen. It's good. Like, they made it, like, it's really good. The characters are good, and the animation is great now. Like, the battles look so good now. It's amazing. The music is good. Then again, it's from Pokemon games, so I mean, you know. Lumio City, though, that music is amazing. I know what time it is, but I just want to finish this up.
I know. But I was actually gonna say something.
Okay, go ahead.
No, that's all right.
Oh, okay.
I'll say it later.
But Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, the anime got me into the card game, which I've since left the card game because the card game has gotten so it's power creep. You know, I'll talk about it more when we can do something a bit longer, but you know it.
But speaking of the card game, do you want to play Pokemon card game as a Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card game, just us, just having fun?
Yeah.
To show them, like,
I'd love
this
to.
is-
I love those games as they were before. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! As it was before, and I like the Pokemon card game now because that hasn't changed much over the years, honestly.
that hasn't at all, actually.
Yeah, it really hasn't.
Battle for Pokemon. You battle for
And me and Macy have actually been playing the online version of the trading card game for Pokemon, and it's great.
I know. I played it with you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It is.
But anyway, so moving on. Number 2. Crap, what was
No, that was number 2.
No, that was number 3.
No, you said 2 spots for number 2.
No, I said 2 spots for number 3.
Okay.
5 was Naruto, 4 was DBZ, 3 was Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. 2. Attack on Titan. It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say much more about it. It's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and give my honorable mentions here because some of these I didn't really think of before I started.
First, but
I probably should have, but I guess before number 1's pretty good too. But like Code Geass is one I'll give an honorable mention to. Soul Eater's one I'll give an honorable mention to. One Punch Man definitely honorable mention, very honorable mention. I'll give an honorable mention to Ace Attorney. I haven't seen enough of it to say if it's better than any of the ones on this list so far, but you know, I like the story.
Yeah.
Because it's based on the game. So I mean, you know, I knew they couldn't screw that one up.
Can you download some anime for us to watch this?
I can try.
Alright.
But
because there's a couple I want you to get so that you can watch it, and there's some I want you to get so I can watch it.
Still need to watch Hellsing Ultimate.
What?
I still need to watch Hellsing Ultimate. I have it on my laptop. I just haven't watched it yet. Anyway,
let's watch that together because
yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Anyway, well, number 1, I think you know what it is. You know what it is. I'm pretty sure you know what it is.
Yeah, I do.
Death Note.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people give the second half of the series a lot of flack. But honestly, I didn't find it to be that bad. The last half of the series, or half. You know, that's the thing. People say it's the second half of the series, but it's not half. It's actually not that many episodes.
Just close to the end.
Yeah, it's actually pretty close to the end. Because Death Note's only like, what, 32 episodes?
Yeah.
And they're talking about all the episodes after episode like 25, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even half. It's
delete.
a lot of people hate Nier because of how, and I will admit Nier can be a bit annoying. And what I didn't like about Nier was the fact that he was constantly like, oh, light is Kira, light is Kira, light is Kira, where L was still trying to figure it out. You know, L was like, light could be Kira, but then he could not be Kira. You know, he actually had the mind of a cognitive thinker, whereas Nier was just so childish and focused on light being Kira. And while he was right, you know, it still felt like you don't.
You don't do that.
You know, because Nier was a bit annoying, but to be honest, I will admit, his little speech near the end of the series where he confronted Light. By the way, spoiler alert for Death Note, because I'm going to spoil this series, so if you want to skip this, I'll put the timestamp below just for a spoiler skip for Death Note. But, as we all know, Light dies at the end. But I will say that the speeches at the end, like the last episode, I would say the from when right after they find out that the notebook wasn't going to kill anyone, that what's his name, what's his name, the delete guy, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but
he changed the page.
Yeah, he basically changed every other page to make it, no, he changed after a certain amount, so that way, he would, not realize that the notebook was fake until, he got there. But, I did like the speeches near the end, especially Light's speech, where he was talking about, like, I am Kira, and stuff like that. But one of the best moments in that entire series was definitely episode 2. Just the entire episode. But especially right near the end where Elle came on after Light killed Lindell Taylor. Because it was just such a great moment where Elle was like, okay, so let me tell you what I found out about you, man. So first of all, I know you're in Japan. because this wasn't actually a worldwide broadcast. And second of all, you're in the Kanto region. I just owned you. I now have a general location, a much smaller location to work with. Thank you very much. And Light was just like, oh, crap. You know, I loved the battle between Light and L.
Chess game.
It was yeah.
It was a mental chess game.
It's why I love Death Note so much, because all the other anime I just mentioned, all have action as a main center point. Granted, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Has card games, but it's not exactly real fights, but you get the point. Naruto, lots of action. Dragon Ball Z, lots of action. Pokemon, maybe not so much, but still. Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, the card games. Attack on Titan, yes, lots of action, lots of blood and stuff.
Yes.
And death.
A lot of death.
Lots of death. Everyone dies. Essentially. Almost.
At one point.
At some point, everyone will die. Probably.
That's probably how the story went. Everybody would just die.
Probably. But but Death Note is like, oh, and Code Geass. Did I mention that in my?
Yeah, you did already.
Okay. Code Geass, the mechs. Honestly, Code Geass is the series where I see the first half being a lot better than the second half, like the first series, I guess, because there's Code Geass and there's Code Geass R2. But I like the first one better than the R2 because R2 focused a bit more on the mechs, whereas the first season focused more on the mind battles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I like about Death Note is it's more of a mind battle of wits and stuff, and it's
All
just.
Right.
Anyway, go because we gotta wrap this up at some point.
Yeah, it's 11:20.
It's 11:20. I gotta get going at some point. So. So number 5.
No.
Oh, you're not.
Honorable mentions.
Oh, honorable mentions first. All right.
Yeah. Code Geass. I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Okay. Fair enough.
Pokemon, because I'm not that big a Pokemon fan. What's the name of that anime?
Which one?
Ultimate Muscle.
Oh.
Ultimate Muscle. That's another one I like a lot.
Isn't that the wrestling anime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta watch that together, actually.
Yeah, I gotta watch that at some point.
Let's watch that together.
Okay. That sounds good.
Like, download some. Not all the episodes, just download a few.
Yeah,
I'll try. Maybe one.
I'll try and get them. I'll try and I'll see how I can find it.
And then the last honorable mention that I'm gonna give is freaking.
Did you forget?
Yeah, I lost my train right in the middle of saying it.
Oh.
Oh well, if I think about it, I'll come back.
Okay.
But number 5 is probably Yu-Gi-Oh. Number 4 is DBZ. I don't really have to mention anything about
we don't have to talk about the ones that we've already talked about. If you say one that we haven't talked about yet, then we can talk about it. But
Number 3 has to be Death Note.
All right.
My number 2 is actually anime that I want to watch with you just to see your reaction. It's a sports anime. It's Hajime no Ippo, or Victorious Fighters in English. But it's a sub. Because, well, actually, no, it's not a sub. The second part is a sub.
Oh.
Because I've only watched the first part, which was in English dub. But after the first part, they made a movie. And then after the movie, they just discontinued it in America. Because the company sold it out and died.
Huh.
I don't know why, but Viz Media was going to do the whole thing with it, but they never did. So I'm still kind of waiting on that. And then my number 1 anime. What have I not said? What did I say?
You said number 5 was Yu-Gi-Oh. Number 4 was DBZ. Was it DBZ?
Yeah.
Number 3 was Death Note. Number 2, you just said Hajime no Ippo. What's number 1 for you? You should know your number 1 anime right off the top of your head, honestly.
I fucked up.
Did you?
I actually forgot to put Naruto in there.
Oh, where would you put that? Like this?
Number 3,
Okay.
probably.
So push Death Note up or down?
Up.
Okay. So number 3, Death Note number 2, I guess. Yep.
Yeah. And Hajime no Ippo is actually probably the best anime I've seen.
Okay.
In a long time. But I do got to talk about one more anime that I really like.
Okay.
Honorable mention. Mega Man.
Oh.
The Mega Man anime. Great anime.
Oh, the Battle Network one, right?
Well, actually, there was another one too.
Was there?
Not just Battle Network, but Battle Network was really good. It was on
or I mean, Network Transmission is what I meant. That I think. What? No, NT Warrior. That's what it was called.
NT Warrior.
That's what it was called.
But it was based.
It was based on the Battle Network series.
Battle Network series of games. Yes.
I know there was a Mega Man cartoon back in the day, back in the 80s.
Well, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
But
I think it's a cartoon. I don't think it's an anime.
I'm not sure.
But you were talking about Super Fighting Robot.
Yeah.
Mega Man. I think I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that show.
That show is really good. Actually.
I love the theme song. I love the theme song. I gotta say, I love the theme song. It's cool. Theme song's catchy. But I guess that's it because we've been going at this for over an hour and a half now. So
Come on, I got more to talk about.
yeah, but it's almost 11:30.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much all we want to talk about for now. Join us next week when we come back for another Random Ramble. I've been Andy.
I'm Cody, the Kid Games.
And signing out. End of Random Rambles for this week. Peace.